Hello, it is Matt, and welcome back to me and this Squire Mustang. I'm holding it gingerly because it's not quite put together. Because I have found a little bit of an issue, which I think we have to talk about. We don't have to talk about it. What I could have done is just fit the pickguard and made it work, and then given the guitar away. But I kind of wanted to show you what will happen sometime, or quite often, to be honest, when you buy a replacement pickguard. And I bought this one from somewhere. It's probably just eBay. And it was for the Squire Bullet Mustang. I was like, cool. All right. That was easy. $20 or something. And I got it, and it looked like it was going to fit. And then as I went through the process of fitting it, doesn't really fit. So I thought I would show you. I took some video just before, and I'll talk over the video. And if this was a client guitar, I would have this discussion. Okay, so let's pretend that this is a client guitar, and we're having this discussion. So it's sped up again because it's boring. So let's play that. There it is with the white scratch plate, and I've got the black scratch plate. And doesn't that look cool? Yes. Maybe I'll move over so you can see me better. That'd be good. So I go through the process of taking off the existing one. And of course, the pickups and the switch are attached to that too. So I'll have to take them off. Notice I'm using a normal screwdriver, not a power drill or anything weird. Just do it manually. It doesn't take that long. So once, ideally, what you would do is just this, and then you would take off the scratch plate and then fit the new one, and you'd be like, yes. But honestly, even if it's like a Fender USA Strat from 2021 and you get a 2021 scratch plate, I get so jack of the situation that I bought a CNC machine, and now I just make them because it's more irritating finding that the provided ones don't fit. So this is me realizing that I shielded the back of the existing one, and the new one has kind of crap shielding, or it doesn't have enough shielding. I should make the point that it doesn't even need to be shielded because all of the wire runs in the guitar are shielded. But I thought maybe I should just do that. So I've taken the scratch plate off, taken the pickups off, so that they're just sitting there, and looks a bit sad and rude. And then I just sort of give it a test fit, and it looks pretty cool, right? What could possibly go wrong? He said. Now, this is me. I like using a skewer. I'm just seeing if the screws will go in the screw holes. The existing holes in the body will match the scratch plate. And they're pretty close. They're pretty close. So I think we're going to be good. And now I cut that, and then I put some shielding, just some copper sort of sheet. It's just adhesive. I figured you didn't want to watch me do that because it's really boring. And it's really hard to get nice, and it doesn't look nice anyway. So anyway, this is me fumbling about putting the pickups back on. Don't forget there's a spring between the pickup leg and the top of the scratch plate. I just put one on there. And I think I lost one. It fell off my bench. There's a screw. All good. I'll probably cut here and find the spring. Anyway, these things happen. Found the spring. Okay, so spring goes on, and tighten it up, and then I'll put the switch on. And kind of got to make sure I orient it the same way so the action's the same, like the down is for bridge and up is for neck sort of thing. You can change that if you like, but that's how I wanted it. So I don't really tighten these things up very much because there's still a protective plastic layer on it, which I'll have to peel off later. So I just sort of do it. So the pickguard wasn't sitting quite right, so I just adjusted the pickup a bit more because sometimes they sort of push up. And now I notice for the first time that little area around the control plate doesn't fit at all, which is pretty annoying because the original one fits and it kind of looks it's pretty close. But I'll put up a picture. Okay, so this is something I do all the time, and you'd be like, you look like a crazy person. But if I put sort of long skewers in there, I can see if the screw holes are like properly perpendicular to the body. Sometimes they're like, if the skewer goes like that, then something's wrong. But they're all pretty good, except for that one at the top horn, which is kind of a bit off. So I'm just putting a piece of tape in there and marking it just to see how off it is, whether I have to fill it and drill it or just drill it and leave a hole or, have a think. And then that area where I'm poking around there, it just doesn't fit. I'll put up a better picture. And it looks crap because there's a gap at the sort of lower end. So now I'm just wobbling around the control plate and seeing if I can get that fit a bit better because, I could modify the scratch plate or I could just sort of move the control plate a little bit and it will work, but that will require more holes. So this is the conundrum, right? And this is the discussion that I would have with a client. See how mismatched those things are. So, we have a pickguard that doesn't really fit. We have a couple of choices. I'm just marking the control plate there, the holes. So if I did re-drill, I just want to make sure that those holes don't go to nothing. That there's enough meat around the body, that they don't just, mount into nothing. And there was plenty of room. So, what do we do? I don't really like drilling a whole bunch of new holes in a thing. So I thought I better just check the alignment with the pickups because I kind of want the pole pieces under the strings. You don't have to do that, but it looks nicer. So I'm just fitting the E's and bumping the camera a lot. So I'll fit the two E's and then I'll be able to sort of visually tell whether the pickups will line up. And if we get to the point where the pickups line up and the holes mostly line up and the control plate doesn't, then we know which one to address. But it's sort of much of a muchness. And you got to work out what, say this was your guitar, you got to work out what would be the best course of action, doing the least amount of harm, while looking as good as possible. And this is a bit of a tricky one. So I think I'm going to think about it for a bit because, there are a couple of options. So with the like stock holes in the pickguard, there's a gap. There's a gap down here that it looks ugly. You could sort of like put a coin in there. That's the end of that video. So that if we use all of these holes, and they do line up pretty good, except for this one, which I'll redraw. We're left with a gap, and I think the gap looks crap. That didn't mean to rhyme. And it's also this top edge is too close. So it'll have to overlap and I'll have to cut that bit back. Not a big deal. But the gap looks like a bad thing. And I don't want it to look bad. I do want to, take pride in my work and everything. But I did also notice, and you might have noticed on that, when I do use the holes that exist, the pickups aren't quite perfect. I think I could get the alignment a little bit better if I drilled new holes. When I say drill new holes, I mean fill them and then drill them. You don't want to drill a new hole right next to a hole. That's bad. So what do you think I should do? This is where I would ask the client what they think I should do. Personally, I'm leaning towards filling all of the holes and re-drilling all of the holes just to make it look good. But if this was a valuable instrument, I wouldn't do that. There's no way I would do that, because you want to do as little damage as possible. So I would go as far as scanning the original plate that fit perfectly, and then I'll draw it in the computer, and then I'll send it to the CNC machine and then cut it out on a piece of MDF, and then I'll test fit that. And then if it works or it needs tweaks, then I'll repeat that process, and then I'll make it out of scratch plate material, and then it'll be a perfect fit, and I would do that for a valuable instrument. But this is not a valuable instrument. So what do you think? Should I drill new holes? Should I just sort of, lots of people just use the holes that work and leave like 4 screws out of stuff. It's a bit hacky. And I really don't like this gap. The gap looks stupid. I'll take a picture. So I'm leaning towards that. If anyone is horrified and is like, no, don't destroy this $300 guitar, let me know. Otherwise, I will think on it before progressing, and then I'll show you if I do end up re-drilling stuff. I'll show you how I do it, because that's kind of worthy of note. Even though this is kind of a filler episode with no actual content. But yeah, anyway, that's what you get. I've got stuff to do. See you on the flip side. Let me know what you reckon. Or don't. It's all good. Bye.